next to me, is a partner, intellectual property lawyer of Foley and Larder LLP. It's a cabinet.
That's correct. So
That's
yes,
correct.
I'm a partner there.
Yes.
And Foley and Lardner is a
You're based in London?
No, large American law firm. So I'm actually based out of Boston, Massachusetts, but Foley and Lardner has 900 attorneys across the United States and about 20 offices. But we also have an international reach. As you see, we're here in Lyon, France today.
Oh, nice. You're also more in France or in all over Europe?
Mostly U.S. based. So we have some offices in Belgium and Asia as well, but we're a U.S. American law firm and proud to be an exclusive sponsor here at Biovision.
Okay, from Boston, Massachusetts, how do you see what's happening in Europe? The Brexit issue, all of these things who are going on politically and economically in Europe?
A very good question. I'm actually going to be on a panel today talking about that. And I'll talk about it from the perspective of intellectual property, which is today we see a lot of innovations going on here at the conference, right? Both at Biovision and CEDO, and there will definitely be some changes, right? IP is a very important part of protecting people's rights. Short term, there's a lot of mechanisms in place already that aren't going to change because UK is still part of the European Union. It's going to take a while for them to withdraw. It could take up to 2 years. So those things will stay in place. But as we go forward, there's going to be a transition period when the UK is going to withdraw. And from there, we're hoping that the withdrawal negotiations will take into consideration some continuity around the IP protection, right, so that people don't get nervous about protecting the innovations. And then post-withdrawal is going to be a different landscape, right? There's going to be a hybrid model. We'll have to deal UK as a separate country for protecting intellectual property. So
but does that mean that people should, be more protected now in UK because of the Brexit?
Well, I think that's the concern would be. The concern might be they might be less protected, or they'll have to come up with new strategies dependent on what the laws look like post-Brexit. So now you'll have to come up with strategies that may deal with European Union without the UK and UK separately. So you may have to increase the number of filings you do, where you're going to file for protection in the UK separately from the rest of the European Union, and then deal with the European Union separately. So it's going to increase the amount of time you spend on strategy and most likely the number of filings you do.
Chris McKenna, how can we be protected? You've seen many innovation from Boston because there's many people from Boston here, from Lyon also because of this big booster program and exchange program, many innovation. How can we be protected today? How to protect an idea?
That's a great question, and I work with a lot of young companies. And I always tell every company has intellectual property. So the first thing is making it intentional. So you have to have some strategy, need to understand all the type of protection mechanisms you can use. Could be from patents, design rights, trademarks, trade secrets, contractual.
But is a patent enough?
Not necessarily. It can be. It's a good starting point because it gives you an exclusive right to stop others from making, using, or offering for sale your innovation. A lot of investors are looking for that as a form of security to protect the investment. But it's usually a suite of tools that you use, right? Contractual is a strong one, like non-disclosure agreements, confidentiality agreements, license agreements, and things you may keep a trade secret. So the strategy that you would deploy usually takes aspects of each of those. And working with someone like Foley and Lardner or some other outside counsel to help formulate those strategies. Because a lot of young companies, they don't have in-house counsel, in-house lawyer, right? And they're busy executing day in and day out their companies, so they don't have time to think about this. So I usually advise companies to spend a little time getting educated on it so they can make an informed decision on the IP strategy.
Well, you advise company to get educated on that, but does the law has the simple evolution that technology has? We see here artificial intelligence. We see many products who are nanotechnology or neuro-intellectual things was very complicated.
Yes.
Is the law following this evolution of very specific strategy, how to protect a patent on an artificial intelligence thing, or maybe it's too complicated for lawyers?
That very good question, right? So the law always tends to fall behind a little bit on technology, but one thing, for example, in my background, right, as a patent attorney is I have a electrical engineering degree and a law degree. So when I'm advising clients, one thing that they like is that I understand the technology.
That's
right?
important. But you are one.
Yeah, but
And there's so many.
I have a team of, so fully loaded, we have over 250 IP professionals who have varying degrees and PhDs and that. So there's not a technology from A to Z that we don't understand. But I think to your point is on the company side, what they have a struggle with is that they shouldn't do it by themselves because their technology stack is very complicated. What to protect and how to protect it is also complicated. So being able to speak to somebody that understands their technology and the law at the same time is critical. So speaking with counsel like myself will help them quite a bit.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you, Chris McKenna. We can find you, I think, on your website. Partner and intellectual property lawyer in Foley and Northern LLP in Boston, Massachusetts.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, next guest after this jingle.